Do you ever find yourself saying sorry without really meaning to? Like it just slips out? Maybe you apologize for taking a little longer to do something, or for asking someone to repeat themselves, or even for just being you. It's a little habit many of us fall into, almost automatically. But have you ever stopped to think about what those apologies are actually saying about how you feel about yourself, or how you think others see you? It's a subtle thing. But constantly apologizing for things that are perfectly okay can wear away at your confidence and leave you feeling smaller than you are. It's like you're saying sorry for taking up space, for having needs, or for not meeting some invisible, impossible standard. The truth is, many of these automatic apologies aren't necessary, and stopping them can be a quiet, powerful way to stand a little taller and feel more comfortable in your own skin. In this video, we're going to look at 7 specific things you should feel absolutely no need to apologize for anymore. Starting right now, letting go of these unnecessary apologies can make a surprising difference in how you feel every single day. Watch to the end for something that will surprise you. Let's dive right into the first one, which is apologizing for taking your time. This is something so many of us do. Isn't it? You're walking somewhere and someone is behind you. Maybe you apologize for not being faster. You're trying to find something in your purse or wallet at the checkout, and you feel the pressure, so you mutter sorry for holding things up. You're explaining a story or trying to recall a detail, and you feel like you're rambling or taking too long to get to the point, so you interrupt yourself with an apology. Where does this come from? Often, it's rooted in a feeling that we're inconveniencing others, or that our pace of life isn't as valuable or valid as someone else's faster pace. We live in a world that often seems obsessed with speed and efficiency, and it's easy to internalize the message that slower is somehow less good, or even burdensome. As we get older, our bodies might not move as quickly, our thoughts might take a moment longer to form, or we might simply prefer to savor a moment rather than rush through it. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with any of that. Think about it. When someone is taking their time, are they usually doing it to deliberately annoy you? No, they're just living at their own speed. Maybe they have a joint that aches. Maybe they're processing information. Maybe they're just enjoying the sunshine. And why should they have to apologize for that? And why should you? Apologizing for taking your time sends a signal, both to yourself and to others, that your time, your process, your comfort is somehow less important than someone else's impatience. It suggests that you need to justify your natural pace, but you don't. Your pace is your pace. It's dictated by your body, your mind, and your preferences. It's the speed at which you navigate the world most comfortably and safely. Rushing can lead to mistakes, anxiety, and even accidents. Taking your time allows you to be more mindful, more present, and often more accurate. So, the next time you feel that automatic sorry bubbling up because you're not moving as quickly as someone else expects, or because you need a moment to gather your thoughts, catch yourself. Instead of apologizing, you could simply acknowledge the situation neutrally if necessary. Just a moment. Finding my card, or let me just get there. Or often, you don't need to say anything at all. You have every right to take the time you need. Your value isn't measured in seconds per task. It's measured in the life you live, the wisdom you hold, and the kindness you show. Stopping this apology is about reclaiming your right to exist at your own speed, without guilt or justification. It's a quiet assertion that your presence and your time are valuable, at whatever pace they unfold. Now, closely related to feeling pressure about time is the pressure to always say yes. And that brings us to the second thing: you should absolutely stop apologizing for saying no. Oh, this one is huge. Isn't it? We've been conditioned for so long, especially many women of a certain generation, to be agreeable, to be helpful, to put others' needs before our own. Saying no can feel selfish, ungrateful, or like you're letting someone down. And when you do manage to say no, Sometimes that little apology pops out immediately afterwards. Sorry, I just can't. Or, I'd love to. Sorry, but I have too much on. Why do we feel the need to soften the no with an apology? Because we feel guilty. We feel like we're failing to meet an expectation, or that our refusal requires an excuse. But saying no is a fundamental boundary. It is the way you protect your time, your energy, and your peace of mind. As you get older, your energy levels might change, your priorities might shift, and frankly, you've earned the right to be more selective about how you spend your precious time. Every time you say yes to something you don't truly want to do, you are saying no to something else, potentially something you do want to do, or simply the chance to rest and recharge. Saying no without apology isn't rude. It's honest. It's a clear communication of your boundaries and limitations. It respects your own needs as much as you might respect the needs of the person asking. Think about it from the other side. If you ask someone to do something and they genuinely can't, would you rather they tie themselves in knots, overcommit, and resent you, or that they simply and kindly say, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I'm not able to do that right now"? Most reasonable people appreciate clarity. They might be disappointed, but they understand that everyone has limits. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your no, though a brief, simple reason can sometimes feel more comfortable if you choose to give one, "I'm not feeling up to it," or "I already have plans." But you certainly don't owe an apology. An apology implies you've done something wrong. You haven't. You're simply managing your own life and resources. Stop apologizing for saying no, and you give yourself permission to live your life on your own terms, free from obligation and resentment. It's empowering, and it teaches others to respect your boundaries as well. Learning to say a firm, kind, unapologetic no is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself in this phase of life. It protects your well-being and ensures you have the energy for the people and activities you genuinely care about. Moving on. Let's talk about something that can feel very personal, and that's apologizing for your appearance or for the changes in your body as you age. Have you ever caught yourself saying something like, "Excuse the way I look," or "Sorry about this old thing I'm wearing," or maybe even making a self-deprecating comment about wrinkles or aches? This often comes from feeling like we need to measure up to some external standard of youthfulness or perfection. We see images everywhere of airbrushed faces and impossibly perfect bodies. And it's easy to feel like our natural, lived-in appearance falls short. But why should you apologize for the way you look? Your face tells the story of your life, the laughter lines around your eyes, the lines of wisdom on your brow. Your body has carried you through decades, through joys and challenges. It might have aches and pains. It might not be the same shape it was years ago. But it is your body, and it deserves respect, not apologies. Apologizing for your appearance is like apologizing for existing in the skin you're in. It diminishes the incredible journey your body has taken. It says that you believe your natural state is something to be excused or hidden. But there is a quiet dignity in embracing the changes that come with age. It shows resilience, experience, and authenticity. Instead of apologizing, think about accepting. Think about appreciating what your body can still do. Rather than focusing on what it can't, dress in a way that makes you feel comfortable and confident, regardless of trends or what you think others expect. When you stop apologizing for how you look, you start to own it. You present yourself to the world not as someone trying to hide perceived flaws, but as someone comfortable in their own skin, with all its history and character. Your appearance is a reflection of a life lived, and that is something to be celebrated, not excused. Another area where apologies often surface unnecessarily is needing help. As we get older, there might be things that become a little more difficult to do on our own. Carrying heavy shopping, reaching a high shelf, dealing with complicated technology, and often, when we need to ask for help. That apology comes out first. Sorry to bother you, but could you? Or, I hate to ask. Sorry, but I need help with this. Why do we apologize for needing help? Because we fear being a burden. We've been independent for so long, and asking for help can feel like admitting weakness or losing some of that independence. There's a cultural narrative that values self-reliance above all else, and needing assistance can feel like failing that standard. But needing and receiving help is a fundamental part of the human experience. At every age, we are social creatures, designed to support each other. Think about it. How do you feel when someone you care about asks you for help often? You feel good, useful, connected. You're happy to be there for them. The same is true when you ask. You are not a burden for having needs. You are a person connecting with another person, giving them an opportunity to show kindness and support. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of wisdom and strength. It takes courage to admit you can't do something alone and to reach out. It's also practical and often necessary for your safety and well-being. Apologizing for needing help reinforces the idea that your needs are an imposition. Stop apologizing and simply ask, "Could you lend me a hand with this?" Or, "Would you mind showing me how this works?" Frame it as a request, not an imposition. This not only makes the interaction more positive for both of you, but also reinforces your own dignity and right to support. You have spent a lifetime potentially helping others. It is more than okay to receive help in return without apology or guilt. Now, let's touch upon something else many older adults feel they need to apologize for talking about the past. Maybe you're sharing a memory, telling a story about the good old days, or reflecting on historical events you lived through, and you catch yourself saying, "Sorry, I'm going on a bit." Or, "You probably don't want to hear this." Or, "There I go, rambling about the past again." This apology often stems from a fear of being seen as stuck in the past, boring younger generations, or simply talking too much about things that don't seem relevant to others. There's sometimes a subtle societal pressure to constantly focus on the new, the future, the next thing, which can make sharing historical perspectives feel out of place. But your past is not just yours, it's a part of the collective history. Your memories, your experiences, the stories you carry, they are invaluable treasures. You lived through significant times, witnessed immense changes, and navigated challenges that younger generations can only read about. Sharing your past isn't just rambling. It's passing on wisdom, perspective, and connection. It helps bridge generational gaps and provides context for the world we live in today. Apologizing for sharing your history is like apologizing for your own autobiography. It says that your life story isn't important enough to be heard, but it is. Your experiences are unique and hold lessons, insights, and often, wonderful humor and warmth. Don't apologize for sharing a story that's meaningful to you. The right listeners will be fascinated and grateful for the insight. If someone isn't interested, that's their loss, not your failure to be engaging. Instead of apologizing, own your stories. Start with confidence. "I was just remembering a time when," or "something that happened years ago comes to mind." Share your history with pride and the understanding that you are offering a gift of perspective. Your past shaped who you are today, and that journey is worthy of being spoken about without a hint of apology. Continuing on this theme of valuing your experience, let's address the sixth thing you should stop apologizing for having strong opinions or sharing your wisdom. After decades of living, learning, observing, and navigating life's complexities, you have accumulated a wealth of wisdom and formed well-considered opinions on a vast range of topics. Yet, how often do you hear older adults preface their opinions with, "Well, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but," or, "Sorry if this sounds harsh, but I think." This tendency to apologize for expressing a strong viewpoint often comes from a desire to be polite, to avoid conflict, or perhaps from experiencing past instances where their opinions were dismissed or patronized because of their age. There's a misconception that as you get older, your views become outdated or irrelevant, leading to a hesitancy to speak up confidently. But your opinions, especially those rooted in long experience and thoughtful consideration, are incredibly valuable. You've seen cycles repeat, trends come and go, and human nature play out in countless scenarios. Your perspective isn't just an opinion, it's often distilled wisdom. Apologizing for having a strong opinion undermines the validity of your experience and suggests that your voice is less important or credible than others. It's like saying, "Sorry, I seem to have formed a viewpoint based on my life," as if that's something to be ashamed of. You have earned the right to have strong opinions and to express them respectfully. You don't need to be aggressive, but you certainly don't need to apologize for knowing what you think or for offering a perspective shaped by a lifetime of learning. When you share your wisdom or opinion without apology, you stand in your authority. You offer valuable insight that younger generations may not have considered. Frame your contributions confidently. "Based on my experience, I found that." Or, a different perspective to consider is, your voice matters. Your wisdom is a gift. Stop apologizing for sharing it with conviction. And finally, the seventh thing to stop apologizing for is perhaps the simplest, yet deeply important: apologizing for enjoying simple pleasures or for being quiet and content. Maybe you love spending hours reading, gardening, or simply watching the birds outside. Perhaps you prefer a quiet evening at home to a bustling party. You might find yourself apologizing for these preferences, saying things like, "Sorry, I'm just a homebody," or, "I know it sounds boring, but I just like doing." This often arises from a feeling that you should be more active, more social in a conventional sense, or constantly seeking external stimulation to be considered engaged or relevant. There's a societal push towards constant busyness and outward-facing activity, which can make quiet contentment feel like something you need to excuse. But there is profound joy and peace in simple pleasures and quiet moments. As you get older, you often gain a deeper appreciation for the small things: the taste of a cup of tea, the warmth of the sun on your face, the comfort of a favorite chair. You've earned the right to structure your life around what genuinely brings you peace and happiness, rather than what others might deem exciting or productive. Apologizing for enjoying simple things or for needing quiet time is apologizing for your own happiness and well-being. It suggests that your chosen way of finding joy is somehow less valid or interesting than others. But your preferences are your own, and they are perfectly legitimate. There's no need to justify needing downtime, enjoying solitary hobbies, or preferring intimate gatherings over large crowds. Your happiness is not up for public judgment. Instead of apologizing, own your contentment. "I really enjoy my quiet evenings," or "Spending time in my garden brings me such peace." Share your simple joys with enthusiasm, not embarrassment. Your peace is valuable. Your contentment is a valid way to live. Stop apologizing for finding happiness in the ways that suit you best. So, we've talked about stopping apologies for taking your time, for saying no, for your appearance, for needing help, for talking about the past, for having strong opinions and sharing wisdom, and for enjoying simple pleasures and needing quiet. Thinking about all these unnecessary sorries we sprinkle throughout our days, it becomes clear they do more than just fill a conversational pause. They subtly chip away at our confidence, our self-worth, and our ability to live authentically. Each apology is a tiny step back, a moment where we diminish ourselves. But imagine the difference when you catch yourself, when you take the time you need without rushing or apologizing, when you say no kindly but firmly, respecting your own limits, when you present yourself as you are, without excuse, when you ask for help openly, acknowledging our shared humanity, when you share your rich history and hard-earned wisdom with confidence, when you embrace and speak about your simple joys without apology. It's not about becoming arrogant or dismissive. It's about standing in your truth with quiet dignity. It's about recognizing your value isn't conditional on being fast, always available, eternally youthful, fiercely independent, constantly focused on the future, universally agreeable, or endlessly busy. Your value comes from being you, with all your experience, your wisdom, your needs, and your unique way of experiencing the world. Stopping these apologies is a powerful act of self-respect. It's a declaration that you are comfortable in your own skin, that your needs are valid, and that your presence is enough, just as it is. Small shifts in the words you use can lead to big shifts in how you feel about yourself and how others perceive you. You have earned the right to be seen and heard without constantly apologizing for taking up space or being who you are. Start today. Just notice one of these apologies when it comes up, and try to replace it with a simple statement or, often. Just silence. It might feel awkward at first, like wearing a new pair of shoes, but soon it will feel natural, like stepping into a more comfortable, more authentic version of yourself. Remember, small changes in how you speak to the world can make a big difference to your health and happiness. What unnecessary apology are you going to try to ditch first? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear which of these resonated most with you, or if there are others you think we should add to the list. If you found this video helpful and empowering, please give it a thumbs up, as that helps others find it too. And be sure to subscribe to the channel for more helpful content designed to support you in living your best life at every age.